Here we are on Holy Thursday, and there are two things that I would really like for us to focus on for understanding the Mass, for understanding what we celebrate coming up in these next 3 holy days starting today. The two things are ritual and a salvific event. Ritual and salvific event. Now we've got to go all the way back to the Old Testament, and we're going to talk about Moses. He's in Egypt with the Israelites. They are slaves, and God commands them to do something. It's actually a ritual that God instituted for the Jewish people, for the Israelites. Of course, we know about the Passover meal, the lamb, the blood that's put on the door, and they are freed from slavery. That's the salvific event, that they're freed from Egypt, which is also a symbol of sin. They were freed to be the people of God. But for future generations, what was instituted, the ritual of that night of their salvation, was carried on throughout other generations. And when they celebrate that ritual, regardless if they were there or not, those future generations have their feet on the Red Sea and are being freed by God. So now we come to Jesus in the Last Supper, which he's celebrating that ritual which God commanded Moses to do. And Jesus is fulfilling what is in the Old Testament. Because he's not just freeing us from slavery, a human slavery. He's freeing us from slavery to sin, slavery from death, the result of sin. And Jesus institutes this ritual at the Last Supper. He says, "Do this in memory of me." He's commanding us to do something. So that's the ritual that he institutes. What's the salvific event? It's the crucifixion of Jesus on the cross. So when we celebrate this ritual, even though it's 2020 years, well, I can't do the math because he died when he's 33, so you do the math. Over 2,000 years ago, when we celebrate this ritual that's 2,000 years old, we enter mystically into the one salvific event of his crucifixion in an unbloody manner. So as we meditate on these next coming days, and as we prepare ourselves to come back to Mass, that we look upon the cross and we know that we are entering mystically into his sacrifice through the ritual that is commanded by Jesus.